Right. So we are here at the second phase of painting this lovely horsey. And I'm standing because I realized as I was sitting that I'm looking at the horse from kind of a skewed position. So as I do this second part of the demo, I can see that I actually put this white in the wrong direction, in the wrong place. And that means this is a little bit off. And this kind of needs to be going more this way and less, leaning this way. So I'm going to try and do some corrections today in paint to show you how to fix things, right? Like to get you excited, like to encourage you, particularly in acrylic, which is a very easy medium to fix, like how you kind of approach that. Right. A lot of times when people get to this phase of the painting, and I could totally let this painting go. I mean, nobody would really know. If I didn't show them the picture, they wouldn't know. But, I'm relentless in my pursuit of drawing and, wanting to, as I call it, honor the object. So let's pop this up here. And we'll see what kind of mess I've made. Yes. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm holding my arm here. I'm going to pop my screen up here just so I can tell. So I, of course, have the source like right next to me so I can sort of test this. But if I did not, I'm holding my arm straight and I'm lining up my pencil with the line of the white nose. And then I'm keeping my arm straight and coming over here. Oh, yeah, look at that. So off. See that little triangle of space? That is where the white is supposed to be. So back like this, over like this. All right. So no. Gotta fix that. Have to fix that. So that's the first thing I'm going to focus on. So for that, I need some white paint. Let's see, where's my lighter? Here, give myself a little bit of white. And I knew it didn't look right. And because of this, everything else, like everything, it looks like this horse is holding his head up rather than putting his nose down. And we want the horse to be putting his, nose where, I want my horse to be putting its nose where this horse is. So let's see. And I think I want a kind of smaller brush as I'm making corrections because I'm kind of doing a little bit of a drawing. So I'm getting a little pointed brush here. I'm going to pop this down. Is this helpful for you guys to see? Is it helpful? Yeah. Yeah, I think it's always helpful. All right. So I'm going to come here. Oh, yes. So I'm just going to sketch the outline. And of course, that means this comes down further. Oh, yeah. So you can see I am not taking any prisoners. Nothing. Look what happened when I added in just in white. Right? I'm still going to have to reshape this side, but, and I'm going to do that using, let's see, ultramarine, blue, and burnt umber. But I want to show you that one of the things, I guess the best way to think about it is that phrase, kill your darlings. Like, you want to, it's easy to kind of grip onto the lines we give ourselves and then not know what to do when they're not right, right? So you got to kind of be willing to kill your darlings on this post. All right, and you guys can't really see here. I want this to be, oops. Maybe I can put this up here. I'm gonna put this up here. I'd like you to see my mixing, but mostly, yeah, there we go. All right. So because I moved this over and this is a fairly slender thing, now see my my shape is completely messed up, right? I've got to rechange it. So I've got to rechange it. You know what I mean? I've got to fix it. So I've got to redraw it. So now I'm mixing some dark just from blue and black. And I'm looking here and I can see, see, yeah. I'm gonna draw the outline just so you can see. There we go. Look at how much I was off. I was telling the class last week, Annika, you weren't here, that I am going through what I would consider a real growth spurt as a painter. I am actually learning to do, I would say, I'm pushing up my skill level. As you do that, you will make more errors that you don't normally make. And so I'm finding myself making a lot of errors like this one, but I think it's really fantastic because one, I want you to feel okay with, you know, if you at some point find yourself struggling again, like what's going on there, it's really, there we go. So see how I fix that? Is that right? Nope. Here, hold on. There. That looks better. But more importantly, I think what I want you to get is art is this moving target all the time. Now I feel like this needs to come down. So actually, now that I've got what I consider getting rid of this, because I feel like it's confusing me. Now I can get this shape correct. So 1, 2, 1. Let's see if I can kind of shape this out. I'm choosing to kind of shape this out with white because this is a mostly light sketch. It'll be easier. And it's much easier Yep. And then there's a little bit, I'm going to put a little bit of ochre on my palette as well. Because now I feel like I need to kind of, so you'll notice there's a lot of reshaping going on. As I fix this shape, I have to come back in and fix the other shapes. I need to add this back in. That's too ochre. I need a little bit.
Hello, everybody. Sorry I'm so late and not even on the same subject as you guys.
You can work on your own subject or just start drawing that horse. I put the
yeah, well, I got halfway through the peacock, so I'm going to go back to that.
Keep doing it. All right, that's excellent. Do it. We're trying to make these classes. I know I'm trying to like keep you on subjects for 2 sessions, and that allows you to like either catch up on a different one, do your own project, just come and visit, right? And right now I'm showing how to correct things. I got the shape of this horse's, this white thing really wrong. And so now I'm trying to fix it. I can see I think this is too high. So I'm just showing how you fix things with paint. Oh, I can see.
Oh, I forgot. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Wow, Sandra, you're abusive to your poor cats. The chicken isn't coming out of the oven. That's a joke, video viewers. Sandra's like nicer to her cats. Sandra's cats live the life.
I forgot to sprinkle the treats on his meat. He won't eat it without it.
Oh, word. Yeah, so just go ahead, guys, as you're working and send me stuff as you're working on it, and I can help you individually. So Annika right now is sketching in, all right, let's see. The beginning of this horse. Rashmi is working on the second phase. I'm trying desperately to correct my drawing. There we go. Let's see. I'm explaining to people that I'm in a kind of growth phase in my own work, which means sort of strangely that I'm making a lot more mistakes, drawing mistakes like I made with this one last week when we started it. And that tells me I'm going in the right direction. So the mistakes actually start to follow you as you're trying. I guess I want you to know the learning never stops and the mistakes never stop. Right? It's easy to kind of beat yourself up and go, shouldn't I be past this now? Nope. Nope. I wonder if this is out too far. Maybe that's out. So if I draw, I'm just trying to kind of see. Yeah, there we go. This is out too far. So Sandra's cats. All right, that's starting to look a little better. Can you see that? Now I'm kind of working on this shape. Now I'm working on this shape. I've gotten rid of everything. Listen, I had a perfectly good horse painting here. It wasn't exactly the horse that was there. I totally could have pulled it off, but I really want you to see the process of correction. One of my students in face drawing last night finally said, I finally understand why you measure. I've been kicking in my heels and not wanting to do it, just wanting to guess. And I'm like, what's the point, right? Like what, you're only gonna know so much. Your eye is only gonna be able to tell you so much. So let's see, does that look better? So you see how I'm kind of chopping things up. There we go. Yeah, I think that's better. I have some dark brown glue. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Diana is in her crunch period, so we're probably not going to see her until next week. And by the way, next week is the last week of classes of the spring quarter. And this Sunday is the last Procreate class. I am going to introduce you actually to Lada Pochba, who will be teaching printmaking from home. You will love this medium. We just shot a video for it. I'm getting ready to send it out in the regular newsletter just to get people excited because it's so cool. Too much here. So we'll have a week off between spring and summer quarter. And then I'll be back the summer quarter with more classes, more fun. You all can take a little break. And of course, you're willing, well, you know, you're welcome to keep going. I'm going out on vacation. So
Where are you going, Leah?
I'm going to go to Ashland, Oregon, which is the home of the Shakespeare Festival. And we're going to see 3 plays.
Wow.
And yes, and do a backstage tour. It's the biggest art repertory company in the country, actually. Ashland is. They have like lots of shows, and they have a big Elizabethan outdoor theater. And as you can imagine, they've been through it. There we go. Can you guys see how much better the shaping is going here? How much I've had to reshape here? If you look really close where you can see the kind of shiny part of my paint. So yeah, this is, corrections are where it's at. Now, once I've done that, I can see that I need to change this line as well. I think, let me check this line. I'm holding my arm straight. Here. Actually, maybe that line is, maybe there's just a little bit. I think I just need to finish his muzzle down here. Rashmi and those of you who are at this stage, I'm going to send this over to you.
Okay.
Hey, Sandra. Oh, that's looking, he's looking great. Are you going to take off the stuff now or are you going
I've
to
just
leave
removed it.
Okay.
Very sticky. I've just removed it. I'll show you without.
Excellent. Yes, please. I'm going to take a close picture of the mouth and send it over to you so you can see. I think one of the things that threw me off is that I couldn't see this in the black and white version. You can't really see this bit down here, this gray bit down here, that sort of bottom part of his mouth. So once you can see that, that looks so much better. So see, I fixed it. No
That's right.
panic, right? I fixed it. I was able to like fix the, I still think, yeah, this needs to come up a little bit more. But what I can really see is there's this whole kind of dark gray area, which I'm getting by mixing burnt umber, ultramarine blue, and a bit of white. So I'm mixing a kind of 4 so that I can come down here because that's really what I was sort of missing. Here, wait, a little bit more white. It's kind of lighter gray here. And then it comes down. There's this gray bottom lip that comes down. It's a little bit difficult to see. So Sandra, I sent this over. You'll want, this will be relevant to you too. Yeah, so that we can really see it, right? Like there we go. I'm gonna
Makes such a big mess with fluid. It's now I have little bits everywhere. With
well, you know,
rabbits.
it's funny. That's like why I don't like using it so much. Like, I mean, I get the
No, I've
value
never
of
used
it.
so much of it. Such a large
It
area, and in
is.
fact, I'm not sure I need to have used any on the right-hand side on the main. But
You probably just needed to use it where the main met this. Like you probably could have just
Yes.
done it on the edge there. That's
Yes.
kind of what I
I'm
meant
still
when I
learning.
was.
You're absolutely right. I didn't need all that, and
But
now
that's
it's
okay. Now you know, and now it's a pain.
it's a real pain. I hate it. But thank God it's the blue one. At least I can see it.
Yeah. Exactly.
And rabbit is, I call him the fakir because he swallows long pieces of strings, not swords, but like,
Oh, and then you have to take him to the vet, right? 'Cause
well, exactly. He once
can't
ate a
pull those
whole
out.
giraffe. He ate a whole giraffe doorstop.
Oh, God. Hermes will do that too, if you're not watching him. It's annoying. I'm bringing my shadow down a little bit, right? So notice how much correcting I did and how much I was willing to kill my darlings, right? Even the parts, I think the problem is we get kind of attached to certain things. And the other color I'm gonna add here is a little bit of quinacridone. Annika, when you're done, send it over and we'll take a look at that.
I did. I just sent you.
Okay, give me just a second here. Can you give me a second? I want to mix in one color. No, actually, I'll do that. Oh, let's see. Okay. Yeah, so just be aware, this is a little bit wide. You've got this a little bit wide here.
Okay.
So narrow it just a touch. This looks pretty good. I'm gonna check here. Gonna make sure you didn't make the same mistake I did. Let's see. Looks good. Good job, Annika. Good listening. Yeah, and it looks like you've got the eye in about the right, this looks pretty good. So you get to pick your, just shorten. See, this is a little bit narrower.
Yeah.
And
what you're
see
saying.
that like it's narrower and then there's this kind of gray area and then the lip, the sort of middle line of the lip is right here,
Yeah.
right? So that's this dark little thing in this sea of, get rid of this, all of this, because it's confusing. There we go. So you see, I'm really just starting over
So
with
should I
my
do the
nose.
underpainting?
Once I've blocked out,
Should I do the underpainting?
Yes, and you can pick any color you want. So you choose.
Okay.
You're such good little students. Yes, so hopefully I will be, and then when we come back, we will have printmaking from home. I am incredibly excited about this class. I cannot tell you how amazing it is. I can tell that you guys don't really get it because you haven't seen it yet, but oh my God, your mind is going to be blown. Emma, your kids are going to want to do this one with you. It's going to make a little bit of a mess, but in a good way. So I might have Lotto come into class next week, this class, and introduce it, do a little demo for us, but he'll definitely be doing a little demo on Sunday. He's going to teach all kinds of printmaking. I mean, this is his area of study. He studied printmaking. And he found sort of during the pandemic, he was a very serious printmaker, as he says in the video. I'm a very serious printmaker. I'm going to use all the materials. He said, then I'm stuck at home with my two little kids, right? There's a 10-year-old and a 5-year-old. And he starts looking around the house to see kind of what he could do with materials around the house. So one of the main materials is, here, I'll show you. It's these styrofoam plates, right? You can get them in a stack. These are fantastic plates for printmaking. You can do so much printmaking with that. Yeah, Emma, what?
I was going to say, I think it's actually got harder to. I saw the list about that, and in Europe they're really getting rid of that kind of plastic.
Yeah,
I haven't seen any of that plastic for a while.
Yeah, it's been kind of it's true. Do you see it on like grocery cart? Do you see it on like your vegetables?
No, I think they've been stopping using it actually. Most of them.
So you may have to track these down. I'll mail you. I'll tell you what. I'll mail you half this. If you decide you want to do this, I will mail you half of these. It's like $4.99 at the grocery store. They make amazing plates.
I'm sure I can find them. It's just there's definitely been a kind of clamp down in Europe on that sort of single-use plastic, and it's getting harder to find it.
Right. It's funny because I also was looking for it and I couldn't find it in my refrigerator. I was like, I just assumed I would have something. And nope, absolutely not. You're right. So it is getting a little harder. But I'm sure we can figure it out. So you can see I'm still doing a little reshaping down here in the jaw. I'm adding in shadow. And then I'll go back over and lighten it. But I know that this shadow is really key in defining kind of the mouth. So I need it in. It's too heavy and too big right now, but what I'm doing is kind of working around. There we go. I feel like that. Okay, so this is here. There's one little more section here. Yeah, there we go. So there's a lot more going on with this mouth than you think. As always, right? But I think I have managed to reshape this horse's head, this horse's nose the way it actually was meant to be. So,
It looks good.
yeah, not too bad. And that's what I really wanted you to see. So now what we're all working on, what I'm working on is kind of this sort of finishing touches, right? I want to bring this some light in here. Notice I'm kind of pushing back this dark. I'm not totally getting rid of it, but I'm pushing it back. That's too much. It's amazing how easy it is to go too far too quickly. Look how I just kind of wipe that off with my hand. A little bit more. Yeah.
Leah,
Huh.
Can you use acrylic on surface that is not canvas? So
Sure.
you don't get that grainy effect?
Sure. Yeah, you can use it on watercolor paper if you want to. Or
can use it on
any heavy duty paper, I would say,
Okay.
right? Anything, I'd say probably your best success will be like 300-pound or higher. But
Or
yeah,
is there like canvas type things that are not so grainy as that paper?
I've never seen any, but that doesn't mean they aren't there. It just means
Okay.
I don't go looking for them.
Right.
My sense is that what you want is kind of a hot press, right? Like you're wanting like a hot press, smoother thing. It's more likely to come from paper than it is from canvas, but
Okay.
take a look around and see what you can find. I mean, you know,
Thank you.
yeah, I mean,
Oh, let me take a photo of this.
Sandra, I forgot to tell you, the new owner of the house, my house,
Yes.
he asked me, do you think we should buy the peacock female? And I said, yes.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And he sent pictures and he asked me exactly what the peacock was eating. And he sent me pictures showing that he bought the right type of kernel.
Oh,
And he
fantastic.
sent me a picture the first
Great.
day. The peacock is here. And he'd put out the food for him and he had everything the same. And they're gonna
Wonderful.
they're gonna
He
get
should
him
get him a
male.
female if he can find
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. Can you
Did you
find
say
it,
yes?
I said yes. I mean, we've looked into it actually, but the hard thing is you can't constrain them. They have to like each other, you know. And
Yes.
you can't be sure that they
He's
do.
been looking for a female, right? So he might.
Yeah. And it's easier also to buy a pair. A pair you can buy, but it's hard to find a single female. And I don't want to buy a pair because then they'll start fighting over it, and that's not the purpose of, you know.
Did you say that he has like other male in his family, the peacock, or is he alone?
No, he's alone. Except there's one more left in the area, and that's another male, and they don't like
Oh,
each
okay.
other, so they kind of
So
yell
maybe
at
he
each
needs to
other.
buy a pair of females.
Yeah, but they're also the group that used to be there. There was like 13 or 20. Some of them were taken by the pound, but some of them were also just actually moved away, and they don't live that far away, but they're in another area. So I guess they have a feud or something. So he's alone in an area where there used to be about 20, and they used to get chicks, babies every year and all that. So he's quite
Aw.
lonely. So that's why we're dancing.
But what
with
we
him.
don't know is he the equivalent of the grumpy old
Could be.
man?
He could be the asshole. For all
Yeah,
I
he
know.
could be the asshole.
But I don't think so.
So I am, for this pinky white color here, this might be relevant to you, Sandra, and also to you, Rashmi. I am mixing, I've added quinacridone red to my palette, and I'm mixing quinacridone red with a little bit of burnt sienna, with a little bit of yellow ochre with white. So I'm kind of doing this pinky white skin color, which I am liking. Immediately I put too much of it down, of course. Because that's what I'm doing these days here. And so I'm putting my gray down here. And then, so I've got this kind of, it's like a skin tone, but it's got a little bit of pink in it. You know, the skin tone, light skin tone for most things. Here, so making sure I get enough white in there. Is like yellow ochre and cadmium red and white. In this case, definitely quinacridone is playing a role in this skin tone mix. There we go. Yeah, I think that's. I'm gonna rinse out my brush, go back to black and white. So you can see I'm now, so I have completely reshaped this. I don't remember where things were. We can look at the original photo just to see where this painting started. But I want to encourage you, mistakes are something that everybody makes. It is not a terrible thing. The only terrible thing is not fixing them. It's not recognizing them or getting sort of stuck in the, what do I do? You know, hand wringing, help, help, like what's happening? Oh, I made a mistake. Oh, I'm a terrible person, right? Like all of those crazy things that happen when people make mistakes. Particularly to women. I notice women tend to be really hard on themselves, and that's like, why? Don't do that. Don't do that. Let's fix it and move on.
By the way, what's a good, I need to buy a couple of appliances.
Yeah.
What's a
What
good
kind?
place? Well, my dishwasher is on its last legs. And
Well, you know, the only dishwashers to go for are the Bosch.
Bosch,
German,
it's interesting.
Bosch.
Actually, I
So
was
great.
coveting a meal, but you have to order it like a year in advance because of the supply chain.
We
But I don't
just
think
bought a Bosch, and it is the best. It's
Oh, really?
so
What kind?
wonderful. I have to go in to take a look. I'll take a look at it when our people check
Yes,
out.
at the
and
model,
send you
please.
The
And
model.
then I need a
love
washing
it.
machine.
Is it
My washing
quiet?
machine is leaking, and it's a Siemens, which is very similar to Bosch, but they don't make washing machines in the States anymore, and so I'm having a hard time. The house warranty can't find anybody to fix it.
I've had that trouble too.
I think it's just a hose, but
How old is it?
it's old. But it's been fantastic. It's the first time I have any trouble with it.
Yeah.
So you tell it, of course. I talk to my appliances all the time. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm always
I
like,
do too.
thank
Yes.
you. Every time I turn on
Yes.
the dishwasher, I'm like, thank you.
The washing machine
Thank you.
is known as the washing devil,
Washington.
which is affection. Right?
Oh my God, I don't feel so bad. It's totally a thing, right? To do
Well, because
this.
I think machines are almost kind of sentient, not quite.
Well, they're doing this task that would otherwise take up so much of your day. Thank you, washing machine.
Yes,
It took us
Thank
a
you.
long time to do, to get our washing machine hooked up correctly. So for when we got a new one, I had to spend months taking the house laundry, which was created every time we had a new renter, which is 1 or 3
Yeah, for you,
times a
it'd be a
week,
nightmare.
to the laundromat, right? So I was constantly going to the laundromat. So once we finally got the thing installed, I was like, thank you. Every time I made this habit of saying, I will never take this washing machine for granted. And to this day, years later, I'm still like, thank you. I
must say, I also love my washing machine because I wanted a European style, you know, front loading.
Yeah.
Because they clean better and damage the clothes less. But it was like a 1,000 a piece, you know, with a dryer. And then I found this Siemens, so they were stopping making them. So I got both for $1,000. And not only that, it came with vouchers to get Method cleaning products, and Method is really nice.
That's nice.
And I got like years and years of washing, you know, washing liquid. I mean,
wow, that's
washing machine liquid,
awesome.
and for years of it, years worth. So I love this thing. But now
it's time. How old is it? Like,
it's
You have to-
16 years old.
oh yeah.
Oh,
there
you're
you go.
gonna have to break up from it.
Oh, and I got
Don't
it with a
say
friend.
that too loud, Annika. We don't want it to hear.
I got it thanks to a friend who's now passed, so I'm also attached to it for that reason.
Oh,
Don't say it too loud. Don't say it too loud.
My washing
No.
devil.
Good washing devil. Good washing devil. Okay, I think my horse nose is looking better. I feel like my horse eye is a little bit too big, so I'm going to trim it back with a touch of yellow ochre, burnt sienna, maybe a teeny touch of white. It's really this dark line that'll make things, I still want it there, but I want it smaller. There we go. Yeah, just pull it in. It's amazing how just a little bit will read as too much. So I'm kind of removing, I'm pulling that back, and then with a very, very thin brush. So you'll notice most of this work is done with a fairly thin brush, this kind of finishing detail. Let's see. Oh yeah, Sandra, he looks good. I kind of think you shouldn't do anything else.
Yeah, it's
Stop
not
it
ruined,
right
right?
there.
I had memories of it being ruined because I rushed too much, but it's
No,
not as
no,
bad
it
as I.
looks kind of, in some ways, it looks kind of perfect just as it is. Like people love that deconstructed look of the, you know, the painting. Like they really do love that. So.
Yes, like Annex looked
Right.
fantastic in black
Yeah,
and white.
right. They look good. Some of them look really good at that, like kind of middle state. It's interesting. I'll be right back. How's everybody else otherwise? Washmi, how's it going for you over there?
Good. I mean, it's just we've been looking for a house and we're planning to buy one.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's been
Done.
yeah. So it's been hectic every weekend. So
Have you found one?
What kind of?
it's an apartment.
Go ahead.
So yeah, it's an apartment. So we're looking for an apartment, like a 3 or 4 bedroom apartment. So yeah, it's just like, you know, sometimes we like the house and the budget doesn't match,
Right.
and then vice versa.
What
So,
is
yeah.
the market like in India right now?
So it has again, like, picked up a lot after COVID. So during COVID, it had actually, obviously, like every other country, it had also fallen. But now, because, and then our country, like our government had given some relaxations to all these property developers. And so that's why they have, like, all these, the property developers now have more time to deliver a project. So that's why they have just, and then there is also an issue of like all the raw material prices going up.
Right.
So that's why, yeah, so all the price, like cement and all of that, so that's why the prices are shooting. So yeah, it's getting, like, more expensive every month. So yeah, we're just trying to
Yeah.
close in on a deal as soon as we can.
Are you renting
yeah.
now or do you own now?
Yeah.
You want to sell?
Yeah.
So will this be
Yeah,
your first house?
Yes.
Oh, Rashmi,
Oh.
wait,
Yeah.
you'll fall in, wait, you think we're weird for talking to our dishwasher? Wait until you get your first house.
Yeah, this is the first house ever. So, like, my own house.
I still like, I still drive there. My first house was in Seattle where I grew up, and I still drive by it. I still drive by. I was just in Seattle. Like, I sold it like in 2006. I still drive. I still think of it as my house, and I still drive by it just to see what is. I was just the other day, like I said, I was there. I made Rob sort of like push up so I could see. Oh my God, the bamboo I planted is still back there. Oh my God.
I'm glad I can't do that because I had 2 previous apartments and they were in London, so at least I don't see them.
Oh yeah, then you don't have to, but you would.
But I
know
could
you would.
occasionally look one of them up online.
Right, just to see. You just, it's weird.
And I was horrified recently because there was like a false information about how much money it was worth, and I thought, oh my God, like it looked to have like quadrupled since I sold it, which my house here hasn't done. But in fact, I think that's rubbish when I look at it.
I think for me as well, that is the house that I lived in when I began to paint. So, and it was the house inspired me to paint. So I feel kind of attached to it because I'm like, that's where I first became a painter. Oh. Anyway, it's funny. Just watch. It's so interesting how hilarious and weird and like how much we get, how funny we get and attached to things we get.
Oh, I talked to my house. Well,
yeah. Do you? Good. I don't. So now I don't feel so bad.
Yes, I feel that I take care of it, and in exchange, it looks after me.
That's the Sandra. That is the Sandra universe. I like it. That doesn't surprise me at all. The Sandra socialist system where everybody is equal, including the cats. Actually, the cats.
Absolutely.
Cats
the cats are in a
I think.
majority as well,
Right.
Can't ignore that.
I'm also noticing, so look, as I'm coming up here, I'm also kind of reshaping the mane a little bit. It's just really easy for things as you lay paint down in that first layer to kind of drift off beyond their normal constraints. So everything is just, I'm kind of reshaping everything. Nothing is sacred. Nothing should be sacred in the painting process. You should be able to let go of any line you painted. As I said, I was talking to some students last night who were working on face drawing, and I'll show you, they were doing a really tough angle pose. It was this one. It's this one, right? And one of them kept drawing his face like straight up. And I'm like, what do you like? What? She's like, and I said, do you love that line so much you want to marry it? Started laughing, and I'm like, see, don't love the line so that you can't get rid of it.
People do that with their stories,
They do that with everything. We get it. That's like actually why painting is so profound. If you can get that, you can let go of these. It's true. I mean, I just find that's like awesome. Often with life, right? These are this is the kind of thing. We don't want to get stuck. We're changing always. We're losing things always. Always there is loss, but always there is, you know, new things to be gained, and that's the reason, you know, to go through life, not to attach too much to everything that is around, although it's hard. I get it. I asked my dad, who just turned 80 recently, who's pretty vibrant. I would say his brother just died, his closest friend. So I think he is like really feeling that, and it's hard for him in a way that everything else hasn't been. I asked him once, I was teasing him. I'm like, so what's being an old man like? And he said, it's fine as long as you don't mind losing things. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Losing things.
Nobody likes losing things.
Yeah, but everybody, we lose everything all the time, right? So
Yeah, but it's
yeah, if you can accept that on some level. Well, I can see he's struggling with losing my Uncle Bob. So
how many siblings were there?
there were 4. He's now the only one. He's the
Oh,
youngest.
that's hard.
Yeah, it is really hard. And you know, the last 2, yeah, it's hard. It's hard. It's hard for him. I feel really terrible for him.
You don't have any siblings here, do you?
I do. I have a brother.
Okay. He's
Yeah,
younger or older?
Younger. Younger.
Yeah, I couldn't bear losing my sibling.
I know, me neither. Even though I don't really, my brother and I sort of talk sporadically. Yeah, we're very close. In a weird way, you know, the way siblings are. The only witness to your life, to your parents, to every, you know, your upbringing. But in any event, it's still good to be able to let go. One thing that we should be able to do is let go of our lines and our drawings. So you can see I'm doing a lot of like reshaping right now. I made my horse a little bigger. Boy, standing, like sitting, doing this painting sitting rather than standing definitely affected the shapes in a negative way. That's what I'm really
Because you normally
noticing.
stand, Leah.
I don't normally stand, I normally sit, but for some reason, this one, it was hard for me to see. I normally sit, but like, for some reason, it was really hard to see the angles. You can see I've had to move the ear over, and this one has, I've make it a little bit bigger. Maybe I made it too big. Yeah, I struggled more with the placement of things on this one. Sometimes that just happens. Sometimes just a subject will be a nemesis. Or it just could be that I'm expecting more, and therefore I'm expecting more, and therefore I'm seeing more corrections. I'm expecting more of myself. I'm also feeling like this is a moment where I just want to turn this upside down to get these ears right. Let me do it. I hope you're at a place where that can work for you too. All right, so one thing I noticed, yep, this is way, so either this needs to come out. Yeah, here's totally in the wrong place. What I'm gonna do is completely paint it over. Check this out. By ear. I was feeling like the current ear was a little bit too distracting. Now let me double check and make sure. 1, 2. So I'm gonna let this dry. Drink a cup of coffee and try it again. So don't, how do you say it? Don't dismiss the correction process. We can spend a whole 2 hours just working on getting things correct. Let's see, this, I feel like this. I'm checking the width here at this widest part to see that I've got it. Right.
I use blue for the
Excellent. Let's see.
I put it on.
Oh, there we go. All right, so get up, make yourself a cup of coffee or something,
Yeah.
and come back. And when it's dry, you'll start layering in your top colors.
Okay.
So maybe next week, Gesundheit. Maybe next week we won't start. Oh, Annika, that looks great. I mean, all of you guys have done great work, I gotta say. So I'm impressed. Still correcting. I think I just need a tiny bit. There we go. Yeah, I feel a lot better about the nose shape. And when this dries, I will re-put in the ear in the correct place. So you can see this ear should be closer. If I run a line straight down, this ear really starts. Let's try. There we go. You can see that this ear, this is the right edge of the ear, is kind of before this area, and I totally had mine lined up here. So I need to start my ear. It's not quite dry yet, but I think I might be able to sketch. I need to start my ear here. End it. 1, 2. Yep, end it here. So see how I'm marking it out before I start? Just to make sure I don't screw it up again. Now, I'm doing this sketch in like just burnt umber. There we go. That's better. Much better. So my current ear, you can kind of see it was over here. Hello, not correct at all. Thank you, upside down. Anybody else have exciting summer plans we need to know about? We know Annika's, she's getting to know her new house.
And I'm going to Denver for hockey too.
Oh, that sounds great. Have you been?
Yeah, I've been to Denver a lot. I like it.
Yeah. I like it too.
But you get affected by the altitude.
That's what I was just thinking about. Yeah,
I
exactly.
had like my back was hurting, and you know, like a journalist, you keep carrying too many things like tape recorders and blah.
Right.
And when I came to Denver, I almost, it felt like I was going to die. My back just went, I'm not working with you anymore. And I've never
Yeah.
had that kind of pain. And they said it actually, the altitude affected it.
I believe it. I believe it.
I've never had it. That was
Interesting.
painful.
Yeah, so we're just talking about kind of finishing. I put some ochre down there and I don't really like the color, so now I'm grabbing it. Where is my, there's a color, oh, I know what it is. I put it in the wrong thing. I've got this kind of cool, it's kind of burnt sienna-like, but it's a little bit Venetian bricker. It's like a little bit more bricky colored. It's called red ochre. Let's try it. Mix it in. Kind of, oh yeah, I love that. Nice. So now I'm kind of paying more attention to, oops, like edges. Well, I'm always paying attention to edges, right? But there's some kind of light areas. There's dark areas. I'm able to see them really clearly. Kind of light up here in the ears. Let's see if I can add that here on. So I'm going to start with the darks, of course. A little burnt umber, an ultramarine blue, the kind of classic black here.
I'm having trouble with that neck column underneath, you know.
I mean, it's really, I would just add a little blue to burnt sienna.
I don't mean that. I mean like the shape.
Oh yeah, look at it upside down.
Okay.
Look at it upside down to really.
My iPad doesn't want to turn upside down.
That's when you notice I was struggling a little bit with shape too. So the first thing I do is send everything upside down so I can see the shapes. And then of course I can see a million things that need to be corrected. Maybe that wasn't such a good idea. I've got like burnt umber. So here I'm focusing on moving my ear.
Doesn't help that I was putting it in the wrong place.
Yeah, I feel you, Sandra. I do. There we go. So you see, I'm starting kind of dark, and then I'm going to let it dry for a minute, work on another area, so I can layer my lights in. For those of you who came in earlier, my original ear was over here. It started over here. And I kept looking at it going, that is absolutely not correct. And then I realized, oh yeah, just it's in the wrong place. So this is a good dark color for the ear. In the meantime, continuing on. With the areas that are lighter, I'm mixing this kind of red ochre color with yellow ochre and white. Let's see how that looks. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Leah, has my friend joined?
Who's your friend?
Cynthia?
Cynthia. Not yet.
Okay.
Hopefully she'll join in the summer quarter. And I'm about probably in the fall, I'll introduce a beginning drawing class at a sort of New York time zone.
But she's been in touch, right?
She was in touch once and then she never, not again. You might want to remind her.
Okay, maybe she.
You know, we know how this is, right? It's a hard sell, or it's a patient sell. You have to really kind of be in the right zone to want to do it. I just did a private lesson yesterday with a mother and her daughter. It was a birthday present from the husband. And the mother was like, it was just a simple lesson. Mother was absolutely obsessed. She's a defense lawyer who travels around the country, like arguing against the death penalty. She's responsible for getting it removed from capital punishment, from getting that removed from the state of Virginia where she lives.
Oh, well done,
So she's very right. And you should have seen her. She's drawing these birds obsessively and obsessively painting and obsessively coloring. And like she looked up after 2 hours and was like, it feels like 15 minutes. So I looked at her and went, you need to do this. Obviously, you need to do this. There's no question in my mind. So we know the people who need to do that.
And she'd been doing some before.
I guess she had a little bit. Like she showed me this really, she and her family are on vacation this month here. They live in Virginia, but they're here in Portland. She showed me this, how she keeps a calendar and she draws a little picture of something they do every day on the calendar. So here, she sent me the, I'm like, she does something, but she doesn't do what, you know, she should be doing. So this is obviously somebody who needs to be doing art. It is absolutely like you guys, right? Those of you who show up, you know, this is something, but it takes some people a while to get there.
Yes,
So
to
it's-
get into the habit and to make room in your life.
To make room in your life for it, right? It's okay, and we get that, right? So we're in for the long, slow approach. So as you're recruiting, it's a very often, let's see, here also, this is so cute. Oh, here, hold on. Let's see, I wonder if I can just share it. Share it. Here we go. So this is obviously, but this is, when I saw this, I was like, you are clearly obsessed and clearly should do this all the time.
I have so many people. I mean, they come and they'll take all the details. I have some who come repeatedly. They'll take all the details and then, oh, I mean, what happened? Oh, it's a Friday. How do I come on a Friday? And
Right.
I can't help it.
Hopefully we'll be able to, I'm really hoping, Rashmi, by October to add a Saturday morning class for you guys. We'll
Yeah.
see how it goes. I mean, I just quite honestly don't know how I will be. And by then on Saturday, then again, it could be hilarious. Like it could be totally, I could just be completely loopy. Could be a lot of fun. You never know. So, but I want to.
But then if you have a class, then there should be people, right?
Right.
Be
I'm
like,
not gonna,
yeah.
right. I won't do it unless I kind of know. So maybe what we should do is organize, maybe we should have you organize a Saturday morning group to come to a beginning drawing class.
And try it out at least. So
yeah, try it out. Would you be
Yeah.
willing to talk about, like, when I say organize, I just mean
because
promote
Yeah.
it.
people may not want to commit to every Saturday, but if you just get them
Yeah,
to
at
do it
least
by
one
once, they may really like it and then
Yeah,
go
and want to keep doing it.
Yeah, I'll
so
try.
that would be, so if you'd be willing to it, let's talk about that. Maybe that's one of the classes that we'll do. So Reuters has always pays me to do a few extra classes in October, that first week for Mental Health Month. So maybe one of those classes will be at that time frame. So we can really recruit people to try it. And if they like it, then I'll add it to the schedule. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Sure.
I like it. I think that. And then one day I'll hire somebody else to teach it, but not yet. When I'm getting tired of waking up like that. I was going to add classes. I was going to add another beginning drawing class in the New York time frame, but until I kind of get. So I might just try out classes
Some
at the new
commitment.
time frames so that we can see who's interested. So we'll probably use October as that stomping ground. I like it. Anyway. So as you can see, still working. Still working. Oh yes, I wanted to show you what this woman did. So this is what she does with her calendar every day. Grab it off Messenger. Share. Here we are. Look at this. She does a little picture on her calendar every day of something that they do.
Oh, cool. But that's probably not that satisfying on a calendar.
I think it just shows that she wants to do it, right? Like that
Yes,
she's got
absolutely.
this desire to do it, and she's directing it. You know, she's a busy lawyer, so, and she's a mom, right? So she's going to put those things first before her own, but yeah, I think it's kind of like, and by the way, check this out. Here we are. I'm like kind of brushing over the top of this ear. So see how the light sits very nicely on top of the dark. So Emma, what I'm hoping is you're finding a little bit of that happening with your peacock feathers. You can work on this another week. We'll do, you know, I'm just gonna have everybody bring whatever painting they want to finish next week, and that's what we'll do. So we have plenty of time. As I see this, I'm like, see how I'm like, I have no qualms about taking background and bringing it in. I will, oops, did that too much? Nope, wait, do this. Right. I have no problem with going in and out with the background, with the, to really make sure I get shapes right. It's a constant process. I'm looking at this, I'm like, oh, yeah, got that shape wrong. Let's see what we can do here. Right? This shape is almost there, but it's kind of up. There we go. I feel very happy with how I've managed to kind of bring this, to reshape this horse's head. I don't think it's totally finished yet, but I feel like I got a long way towards correcting it. So I'm not in a rush about when I get this done, right? What we want is to get it right.
Actually, if you're going to sell it, Leah.
I hope so. I just sold one. Yes, I hope so. That would be nice. But even if not, they're so fun, right? Such a fun.
Yes.
Yes, I believe that horses are a thing that people like to buy pictures of. I think I told you guys when the author, the YA author, Maggie Stiefvater, came to my class and took an art class. She's a sort of best-selling New York Times best-selling author. She's a wonderful artist as well. She told me, yeah, when she was in college in Kentucky, she paid for college by painting people's horses. She's like, yep, people will have a portrait painted of their horses. Everyone will have a portrait, every horse owner will have a portrait painted of their horses.
And that's also a big community. So presumably, if you do one that they like, they will pass on the name.
Right. She is an amazing author, and she's a great author. I've read some of her books, kind of YA books, but still pretty great, and a wonderful artist. So she will often, she works a lot with colored pencil, but she will often, you know, she's on like, she's constantly writing a new book in whatever her series is.
Wow.
And yeah, she's massively creative. And she uses her downtime to do art, right? To do visual art to help sort of support her. She's very funny. And she's a real sweetheart. And I felt very proud that I could teach her something. She was very tickled by the art classes. She's like, she hadn't done much. She didn't really know how to use paint. So I was just showing her some things in that regard. But I remember her talking about the horses, painting people's horses, and thinking, what it's a way to make a living. Yeah, she was on tour for her like 25th book, and she was working on her latest book at the same time. So she was traveling around the country. This is pre-COVID, of course, working. Anybody thinks that life is fantastic? I mean, it seems like a fantastic life, but oh my God, it's so hard. Very, very, very hard. A lot of work. Particularly if you get into a series, because people really do want one a year at least.
Of books.
Yeah, not more, right? So you're on a kind of constant churn
Gosh.
to produce the next great thing.
And also, I mean, my own experience of writing something that long is my dissertation.
Right.
But oh, what a slog.
It's a slog. It's definitely
To write
a slog.
something that long, yeah.
Yeah, consistently over and over again, right? Like it's like a returning, right? It's I mean, we can finish a painting in like, I don't know, 2 or 3 sessions, right? Like a week, let's say. But yeah, for the writer, it's this kind of never-ending process of writing and
In fact, it's what I like about journalism. Is that
yeah,
you do something and it's finished. You do something and it's finished.
right.
For us, I mean, because we don't work in magazines, we work at speed. I like that.
Yeah. It's yeah, it's like definitely dedication.
As opposed
She
to
impressed
a lot-
me. I was like, this is what the creative life really looks like. People are like, it's great. I'm like, yes, and yet
Because you've never done it.
so much work, so much, so consistently. What does Oscar Wilde say? Somebody asked him, does he write when the muse strikes? And he said, yes, madam. The muse strikes at 9 a.m. every day. It's all right. Look at this moment. I'm feeling like I might be done with this, at least for the moment. Let's take a look at where we're at. I'm gonna remove the spotlight. I'm gonna put you in gallery view. I want you to hold up your piece so we can see it. I'll hold up mine as well. Oh yeah, I think that's looking a lot better. Oh, Annika, looking great, looking wonderful. Oh yeah, Sandra, there you go. God, it's like, Emma, you can, yes, that's looking nice. Very nice. Rashmi, yes, 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 yes. All right, so we'll just keep working on these next week. We'll finish. You'll finish your painting. I'll finish mine maybe eventually. And Rashmi, yeah, hold on, I'm gonna stop this.